Hello everyone, we are the Team Not Null of 11 ICTA, here to present you the second part of our Microsoft SQL Server presentation, Date Functions. So now what is a date function? Date functions are used to manipulate and perform operations on date and time values stored in the database. They provide a convenient way to extract specific components of a date, perform calculations, and format dates according to various requirements. When using date functions in SQL Server, parameters are used to provide inputs or arguments to the functions, specifying the dates or values on which the functions operate. Parameters allow you to customize the behavior of the date function and make it applicable to your specific requirements. In Microsoft SQL Server, there are 13 types of date functions. These are current timestamp, date add, date diff, date from parts, date name, date part, day, get UTC date, is date, month, system date time, and year.
Current timestamp. The current timestamp function returns the current date and time. It follows a year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds, and milliseconds format. Look at the syntax, current timestamp. Here's an example. Select current timestamp, and when you execute that, the result will be 2023 05 25 16 27 07.627 because that is the current date and time in that moment. We are moving on to date add. The date add function adds a time date interval to a date, then returns the date. The syntax is date add interval number and the date. Here's the parameter values of the date add. We have interval and it has year, quarter, month, day of year, day, week, weekday, hour, minute, second, and millisecond. And we also have a number and a date. So we have three parameter in date add. So here's an example. Select date add year 1 2017 08 25. So the interval is the year and the number is 1 and the date is 2017 08 25. As date add, the alias will be the name of the column. So if you type as and the date add, that will be the name of the column. So if you do that, and the result will be 2018 08 25. So what happened here? So what you're trying to do is add 1 year into a date. So the syntax is year 1 2017 and the result is 2018 because you added 1 year into a date. Second example is like the earlier, but instead of year, this time it's month. So select date add month to 2017 08 25. When you use that syntax, the result will be 2017 10 25. So the results is 2017 10 because you added 2 months into a date. So yeah. And the third example is you're gonna subtract 2 months from a date. So select date add month, and as you can see in the number here, there is a minus sign, and when you execute that, the date will be 2017 06 25. So instead of 2017 08 25, the results will be 2017 06 25 because you subtract 2 months from a date. So yeah. Date diff. The date diff function returns the difference between two dates. The syntax is date diff interval date 1 and date 2. So the parameter value of this is interval and date 1 and date 2. So here's an example. Return the difference between two dates values in years. So its syntax is select date diff and the interval is year, and date 1 and date is the 2017 08 25 and 2011 08 25. The results will be -6. So why is it -6? So it's negative because the date 2 is behind the date 1. The next example is select date diff year, and 2011 0825 and 2017 0825. So the result is now positive 6, because if you look at it, the note is the result is now a positive integer because date 1 is earlier than date 2. So it's like the first example, but now it's reversed now. So yeah, it's not like reverse, it's just an opposite of the other example. So here is the third example. So select date diff, and what we're doing now is the R. So select date diff R 2017 08 25 and 07. So the other is 2017 08 25 12. So between the 7 and the 12, their difference is 5, so that's the result. So yeah, 5. Date from parts. The date from parts function returns a date from a specified parts, year, month, and day values. Syntax is date from parts, year, month, day. So the parameter value is year, month, day. So the example is select date from parts 2018 10 31. So the results will be 2018 10 31 because it's trying to return a date from its parts. So there's nothing special in this example. It's like a normal, like returning a date from its part. So yeah. Date name. The date name function returns a specified part of a date. This function returns the results as a string value. So syntax is date name, interval, and date. So the parameter values is interval and date. So there's only two parameter values. Here's the example. Select date time and year 2017 08 25. So the results will be 2017 because it's only returning the year based on the interval. Oh yeah, year and 2017. Yeah, it's only returning the specified part of a date. So it's trying to return year, and yeah, the results will be 2017. Also, if you're looking at the interval, it says y. So how is that valid? So the answer is yes, it's valid because it's still a part of the interval. So look, when you go back to the interval, you will see year and y, and the third one is y. So it's still counted as year. There's the next example. So select date time. As you can see, the interval is now year, and 2017 0825. Oh, so it returns the year 2017. It's like the first one, but now the interval is year. So the two difference between the two example is the interval on the first example is y, and the second example the interval is here. So yeah. Date part. The date part function returns a specified part of date. This function returns the result as an integer value. What's the different about them in the other topic? So this only return integer, and the other return string. So this is integer also. Syntax is date part, interval, and date. So in the parameter values, there's two parameters, interval and date. So here's an example. Now select date part, and the interval is here, and the date is 2017 08 25. The result is 2017 because it's selecting the year 2017. Here's the other example. So select date part, and the interval is hour. So the date is 2017 08 25 8:36. So the result is 8 because it's trying to select or retrieve the 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 hour of the date. Here's the third example. Select date part minute. Now it's different from the others. This time we're selecting minute. So 2017 08 25 0 I mean 8:36. So the results will be 36 because we're selecting the minute. And here's the other example. So return the month part of date. Select date part month 2017 08 25. The result is 8. So why is it 8? And the other is the other topic earlier, when we tried to select August, it the result is August, not the number 8. So in this date part, we're in this date part topic, the only thing we're selecting is integer. So that's why it's number 8 instead of letter it instead of the date August itself. We are now here at day. The day function returns the day of month from 1 to 31 for a specified date. The syntax is day, date. The parameter value is only 1, so the parameter value is date. Here's an example. Select day 2017 08 25. The result will be 25 because it's selecting or returning the day of the month. It's yeah, the day of term for a month. So that's why the result is 25. Next example is select day 2017 08 13. So it's selecting 13 because that's the day of the month.